Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Habib here today. I wanted to share the story of one of my amazing patients. This is Vishal. Vishal has been a patient of ours at Living Proof in the Essentials program, and he's been having some really, really amazing results. And we're getting close to the end of his program, but we're noticing some amazing changes. And I wanted him to share his story and explain why exactly he came in and what changes he's noticed going through the program with us. So thank you so much, Vishal, for being here. I really appreciate you doing this with me.
Oh, my privilege, for sure. Thank you.
And I want to ask you, Vishal, what was the reason for you coming in? What was the initial cause or the inciting factor that brought you into Living Proof?
Yeah, for sure. So I probably when was it? I think it was last year around September. I'd come in, and what was going on is that I was experiencing joint pain, and it wasn't just joint pain that I could live with. It was basically keeping me up at night, and it was all over my body, specifically in my hands, my fingers. It would be in my wrists, and then my shoulders, my hips, my knees, my feet, and it literally all over my body. And so at that time, basically, I was having this pain. It was really difficult for me to walk as well. And I was seeing some specialists around this, and they were concluding that it may be rheumatoid arthritis. At that time, they had put me on, prior to then, methotrexate, leflunomide. So I was on these medications that were just not suiting my body. So take methotrexate, and I would get lots of nauseousness from that. Leflunomide, I got lots of itching from that they ultimately diagnosed that it was from there. Um, and I came to Living Proof basically at that time when a friend of mine, she had also joined prior to with Living Proof and had gotten good results. And I came to see Dr. Habib, yourself, and Dr. Patel. Really at that time, I was just trying to see what my options were available, and just keeping an open mind around, what I could do with you guys.
Perfect. Okay, and obviously there were some, excuse me, some issues that had come up around the joints, and it was an autoimmune kind of presentation. It looked like a rheumatoid arthritis. Um, Tell me about your experience in terms of the first couple of visits and getting the testing done and what we were able to kind of uncover with the testing in your case.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, the first visit, it was with yourself and Dr. Patel, and then the following was with yourself. And basically, at that time, you were just asking me key questions around, what was going on, but not necessarily just what was going on with just, hey, you're noticing the inflammation in my joint, but what was going on, overall with my lifestyle in terms of any changes that was going on. It could be around my work or personal life, any stress indicators. And we basically had, I remember, probably an hour and a half conversation just around trying to learn around different things. My family had actually come in with me because everybody was just really concerned. And so, you were getting all types of feedback from us in terms of what was going on. From there, it was a lot of patience, to be honest, from you guys explaining that this is just hang tight and this is part of the process. When you're in that much pain, you really want something to solve it right then. And I just remember you were just saying, like, look, we haven't started the program yet. Essentially, what we're going to do is this test. So we basically did a stool and urine test. So I did this, and we basically sent off the tests to the US. And then when we got him back, I remember meeting with you, and basically there was a comprehensive report. I didn't know a lot of what this meant, but you basically walked me through line by line, basically indicating what your thoughts were in terms of what was causing this.
Mhm.
And so we just went through, and you showed me exactly what was going on, but then it was like, here's the approach that we were going to take in terms of going through it. And that's how that testing part worked. I remember at that time, because I was walking in. I was like, okay, like I'm all open. I'm open to hearing what you're gonna say, but I also made a mental commitment that I'm gonna be going through this journey as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. One of the things that we are absolutely certain that people need to have when they come in is that open mind and that commitment to make that change for themselves. We say this, and I'll say this over and over again. The doctor does 20% of the work, the patient does 80% of the work. And I know you know that's true, but if it's the habits that got you into it, then it's the changes that are going to get you out of it. And so I can tell you what changes you need to make, but at the end of the day, it's on you to do this. And so it is a partnership between doctor and patient to make sure that the changes are instituted, that the lifestyle is lived up to. And so that commitment is very important. So thank you for alluding to that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hey, it's so important, right? Because if you can think about it, that you can guide me, and basically we did it pretty methodically so that we knew exactly that it was the supplements that you were providing as well as the food. But like, I love pizza and stuff, but it's, I could walk out of that and eat whatever it is that I want to eat, but ultimately that's not going to help me out. So being committed is a big part of this process.
Perfect. I wanted to ask you what changes you've noticed over the time that we've been working together. I believe it's been about 8 months now, 7 or 8 months since we started the process altogether. And so talk about the changes that you've noticed.
That's right. So I remember I came back from a cruise. I was on prednisone when right before we did our testing, and I can't remember the specific amount of prednisone I was on, but between the 4-month time period, I literally went down in terms of the prednisone that I was taking. So I did it I did it that it was incrementally like getting lower with the help of my rheumatologist who I see. And so by probably the 4.5 month mark, I'd literally left all medication that I was on. So I was on no medication. I was just on the supplements and the food changes that we had made. And man, like I could sleep. Like that was that was huge. Like I could sleep. I could function during the day. Like, I think last time I saw you, Dr. Habib, maybe just a few weeks ago, sorry. I was like, I could walk fast and I wouldn't notice hey, that I was in pain when I was walking fast. So I literally have to pinch myself because it's a big shift. Like I think I went through probably about 1.5 years of just different types of things to try to figure out what it was. And to be literally at a point where you're not on any medication and you feel good is just amazing.
Yeah, that's spectacular. I couldn't ask for anything better in your case. And the changes have been substantial and amazing. And it's been specific for your lifestyle as well. You live and work downtown. And so you walk a lot, you walk to work, I believe. And there's quite a bit of actual walking that needs to happen. And so for you to not be able to walk was a big lifestyle change and a terrible factor for you. So for you to now be able to walk fast and be able to be back to where you were, probably even better than you were for a little while, I think that's probably the biggest change that we can ask for and be grateful for at this point. So
no, totally right. Like I literally was in like 7 days a week before, right? So I went down from that to nothing to just last month starting yoga again and getting back into it. So it's a big change for sure. So if I talk to friends and family around this, I think that when you see somebody like you guys did from that first time to where it is now, like it's a big change for sure in the positive.
That's awesome. And so one last question, if you don't mind, I would love to hear your perspective that you might give to somebody who's on the fence, deciding whether or not to message or to give us a call. What would you say to somebody who's going through some issues but isn't quite sure that they're ready to take that next step?
So this is really easy for me because I have a few friends, and the more people I speak to, I uncover they're either going through a little bit of what I went through, or they have other things going on. And I speak to them because I just want them to be at a better spot. And so when I speak to them, I literally just say, hey, you know what? For one is that it doesn't hurt to just have like a phone consultation and just say, hey, what is this program going to offer me, right? Like at least that's a great starting point of just saying that, what is it? You could sign up. I remember when I first looked at it, I just signed up for the emails and I just started getting in the different knowledge that you guys send out, and then had the initial consultation. The second is that just keep an open mind. Just say that, hey, like, there is an in terms of how I could look or approach something like this. And so having that open mind is important. And I think that as long as you can say that, hey, there is another approach that I could take on this, and being open to that will allow you to kind of seek this out. And third, I would just say is that, when you do it, and I highly recommend it, just be committed to it. Just say that, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. We talked a little bit about this earlier on, but just give it a shot and give it your best. And throughout, I email you guys and I say, hey, I have this question, or this is working or not working, and you'll get that support when you need it. So I think that support's there. I had tons of questions along the way, and so did my family. So at least being able to get some comfort that the answers that you're receiving, because sometimes when you're Googling the answers or wherever you're getting the answers from, it can get confusing. And just having that confirmation that you're following a plan and it's a good plan, I think is a big thing. So those would be the three things that I would say. It doesn't hurt at all. Just give it a try, and I think that you'll see something positive from this.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. I have one last very simple question for you. Was it worth it?
Oh, 100%. Oh yeah. Like, this is like a huge life changer for sure. So yeah. No doubt at all. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for doing this, Vishal. I really appreciate it. And congratulations on all the positivity and the amazing changes that have happened so far for you. And I'm excited to see where you go next.
Sounds good. Yeah. Thanks again. And we'll be in touch soon anyways.
Absolutely. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Thanks.